Hello friends, my name is Shilpa Kakkar. I am from M.B.Patel English Medium Secondary and Higher Secondary School. Today I am back with History of Standard 12. Today we'll continue with chapter number 8. The name of the chapter is National Movements from 1857 to 1919. In the previous 4 sessions, we discussed about the changes that took place in India due to the Western ideologies, literature, national movements, organizations, and the foundation of INC, Indian National Congress. Let us move further and know about the second phase of the Indian National Congress. Many incidences were witnessed in the second phase of the movement. The important were the emergence of the rift between the moderates and the extremists. Students, you all know, Indian National Congress was formed with the idea of presenting the problem to the British government and finding some solution to it. But as the time passed, people understood that British were not in favor of the Indians, and that is why they started becoming angry. They came to know about the real face of the British. So then emerged the rift between the moderate and the extremist. Later on, the nationalists, they started taking certain revolutionary steps also. Partition of Bengal and its protests like Bang Bang and Swadeshi Movement, rise of communism in India, Home Rule Movement, different other activities in the country and abroad, and the two acts brought many changes in the country and abroad. The acts which were passed during that time, promoting the divide and rule policy, all these things brought many changes in the second phase of the movement. The people were not satisfied with the Indian Legislative Assembly Act even, which was introduced in 1892. Then the demands and the desires were getting higher and higher. With that, the controversy between the moderates and the extremists increased. Moderates believed that they should present their problems and discuss such problems with the viceroys. But they were not blind followers of the British. They thought that if they will talk with them, if they'll present their problems, they'll bring some solution to it. They will be given certain rights. Whereas extremists believe that presenting their problems in the initial stage, and if not granted, then change the method if they find that the response is not at all positive. So they believed that present the problem in the initial stage, but when not receive positive response, then change the method. So leaders like Vyomesh Chandra Banerjee, Dadabhai Navroji, Ramesh Chandra Datta, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Madan Mohan Malviya, all these were the old generation leaders from the moderate groups. These leaders and their followers wrote to the contemporary viceroys against the foul policies of the rulers. They used to discuss the problems and present them before the rulers. Their work system made them moderate. They systematically unified the educated middle class people and constituted the foundation for the national movement. They sowed the seeds of freedom fighting, home rule, equality, injustice in the common man. It can be said because Gopal Krishna Gokhale did not accept the honor of knight and the membership of the Secretary of the State for India. The moderates adopted this policy according to the needs of time. But this did not impress the British. The negligence of the British inspired the young leaders to take actions for their rights. The followers of this ideology got the identity as the extremist. Lala Lajpat Rai, Bipin Chandra Pal, Bal Gangadhar Tilak and many others took the task of taking away the rights for the Indians from the British, and that is why they came to be known as the extremists. Trio. Trio means three. This was the best trio of India. Bal, Pal, Lal. These three people brought change in the ideologies of Indians. These were Bal means Bal Gangadhar Tilak, widely known as Lokmanya Tilak. Pal, Pal is Bipin Chandra Pal, and Lal, Lala Lajpat Rai from Punjab. Even though these three people from different areas, they had same ideology. They fall into the same group of extremists. Bal Gangadhar Tilak. He was from Maharashtra, Ratnagiri, and he started different journals, one in Marathi and the other in English. These two journals brought awareness among the people. He participated in the first in 1890 in Indian National Congress convention held at Mumbai, but later on the ideology was different, and so he took up the extremist part. To achieve this, he started the celebrations of Ganesh festival and the birth anniversary of Chhatrapati Shivaji. These festivals were celebrated at that time, but not the way he started celebrating. The reason was that he wanted to gather people and make them aware about the atrocities of the British government. So, he started these festivals so that when people will come together to celebrate the festivals, they can spread the words. And that was the easiest way of making people aware about the ideologies. He proclaimed, Swaraj is my birthright, and I shall have it in 1906. He also told the people that religion and life are nothing without the home rule. Home rule means Swaraj. He was sentenced with 6 years jail for criticizing the British policies. He started the Home Rule League in 1916, which played an active role in the national movements. In the same way, Lala Lajpat Rai, who was widely known as Sher-e Punjab, he belonged to Dhilke, which was situated near Firozpur in Punjab. He was impressed with Dayanand Saraswati's Arya Samaj ideology. He started the Punjab and the People news journals. Even for that and spreading his ideology, he was sentenced to jail for leading the peasants' fight for the justice. He became victim of a police action during the protest against the Simon Commission. He was hospitalized due to serious injuries, but later on he died on 17th November 1928. He lived a very short life, but he laid the strong foundation of national movement. Bipin Chandra Pal. He was impressed with Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay and his daily Darshan. In the beginning, he came in contact with Brahmo Samaj. He made a major contribution in the Swadeshi movement. He even started daily called Vande Mataram and a weekly called New India. Even he was sentenced to jail in 1907. These three people, they are always given they were always together, and that is why they were given this name trio. Trio means three. This trio is still they are still living in the hearts of the people because of their sacrifice, because of their contribution towards the national movement. People protested against this partition. Later on, when nothing happened, the partition was not cancelled. People protested against it. People were requested to refuse foreign goods and use only the goods which are made in their country. And that is came to be known as Swadeshi Movement. Swadeshi Movement. Swadeshi Movement had three characteristics. The three characteristics were use of Swadeshi goods, refusal of foreign goods, and national education. A committee was constituted to form strategy to sustain the Bang Bang movement. Surendranath Banerjee, Bipin Chandra Pal, Ras Bihari Ghosh and Arvind Ghosh were the committee members. The followers collected the signature of public interest legislation. Some engaged in public speeches, street plays and protests. The national sorrow was decided for the whole year. The foreign goods were refused in order to promote Swadeshi goods. The employees were appealed to abandon government jobs and powers. A large fund was collected to sustain the movement. Swayamsevak Dal was founded to help the people. The people from all the classes supported the movement in the best possible way. The people pledged not to use foreign goods. Shops were checked to see whether the foreign goods were in use or not. No, you won't believe, students, that the cooks, barbers, washermen, cobblers, all these people stopped giving their services to the British. They were not provided anything, general customary services even. British cloth was not in use and people started wearing the clothes made in India. Many articles were published and people were made aware that if they want to be self-aware, self-reliant, then they have to use the things made in India only. Not only news journals, but street plays, public conferences, folk songs were used in order to make people aware about the present scenario and future. So they stopped following Britishers blindly. People started singing Vande Mataram, which was a song from Anand Math novel by Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay. Everywhere, wherever they went, they were singing. People were singing Vande Mataram song. Even the government favoring newspapers took the note of this attitude of the public and the force. Swadeshi movement benefited the country in various ways. The trade of British goods was highly affected. Not only that, the export also decreased and there was import, but the sale of the imported goods also decreased, which obviously affect the British. It gave a push to Swadeshi movement. People went on strikes in presses and jute farms, which gave a terrible jerk to the government enterprises and trade. With that, the national education spread. Students played an important role in Bang Bang movement. Due to this, they had to pay collective fines and suffer the punishment of getting expelled from colleges. This taught Indians a lesson to start new national schools in Bengal. And you won't believe that national schools and colleges and the primary schools were started within couple of years. 25 national secondary schools started and 300 national primary schools started in Bengal by 1907. Rabindranath Tagore's Shantiniketan developed to its best during this time. Apart from Bengal, positive results were seen in Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Madras, Bombay, and Gujarat. All these places were highly affected with the partition of Bengal because people understood now they want to divide Indians and rule. People did not understood the strategy of British behind this divide and rule, behind the partition of Bengal. They wanted to divide the unity. The national integration was there. The brotherhood they could not understand. They could not see the unity among the Muslims and the Hindus. And that is why they gave the Muslims a chance to found their own organization known as Muslim League. Muslim League was formed in 1906. The thought of Muslim League occurred in Simla Convention. They wanted to destroy the unity among the Indians, and that is why the Viceroy's secretary talked to Akbold, the principal of Aligarh College. If Muslims wanted their progress and separate election rights, then the Viceroy would separately give them time for such discussion. The principal wrote to the college secretary in which he described the demands and instructions. After receiving the letter, a team of Muslim representatives went to Simla to meet the Viceroy under the leadership of Aga Khan. They produced their demand list before the Viceroy. The demand for communism was not accepted. But the officer instructed the team to demand separate voting rights for them. Hence, the rise of separate electorate was a result of the British, not the Muslims. Minto had thought of the Muslim cooperation. Thus, many writers believed him as the father of the Muslim communalism. Many experts believe that the real founder of Pakistan was Minto, not Muhammad Ali Jinnah or Rahmatullah Khan. The British succeeded in convincing a group of Muslims to found Muslim organization. Aga Khan, Rahmatullah Khan, Salimullah Khan, Viceroy Minto and his private secretary Dunlop Smith were the key persons to found the Muslim League in 1906. The convention in Lahore and Karachi implemented this. It led to the foundation of All India Muslim League, and thus it was established to widen the gap between Hindus and Muslims. Students, we read about the partition of Bengal, which was the worst step taken by the British that sowed the seeds of division between the Hindus and the Muslims. Because of few people, understand students that it is just because of few people such a terrible situation occurred. It was difficult. Now it is difficult to bridge up the gap between the two. These were the seeds sown very, very badly by the British. They became successful and we lost. Anyways, now in order to move further, first you have to read the chapter for better understanding, and till that time, bye. Thank you.